And this is my bathtub. I'm probably gonna have to clean it. I'm using it as an ashtray. Yeah. I'm a dude that bathes. I took a bath yesterday. This isn't that dirty, but it's got some crud right there. I like to bathe. Well, I'm showing this because my computer is down bad right now, and I'm gonna have to do some things to fix it. And it's gonna be a pain in the ass, and I can blame no one but myself because I broke it, trying to fix something else, thinking I know more about Windows 10 than I do, and I don't. I don't like Windows 10. Oh man, I'm gonna have to upgrade my processor so I can go to 11. 11's okay. I was at 7 for a long time, wisely, but I upgraded to use some things, and those things, if I don't fix my computer, I might lose a lot of it permanently. I think I will be able to. Back to the subject, Palestinians and reparations. I've said this a lot that, oh man, I've been saying this probably like since 2017, maybe shades of it before that. But if you don't have a political agenda and you aren't obdurate about that political agenda, man, mission drift is the nature of the beast. And you see it with everybody politically, far left, far right, between everything. Um, and I'll talk about but I just really want to talk about the left wing of black politics and how I have heard nobody say that Palestinians need reparations. I might not always be anonymous. That's another reason why I'm doing this video. But it'll depend. Like I got a lot of work to do, and it's gonna start with fixing my damn computer. But why doesn't the left wing bring this up? And I think part of it is because there are shades of Christianity that wants to believe in aspects of Zionism, in enough aspects of Zionism to where there's a lot of black people who are just quick to say that Israel deserves to exist. And I see it like you deserve what you get, and as long as you're running a Jim Crow version of your laws, and you don't deserve to exist. And the only thing that's really going to um, solve this without violence, and there might still be violence, but it's violence that it's easier to say, oh, we're anti-terrorist because you're doing reparations. you're papering up the Palestinians because of all the human rights violations they face. And then you can kind of do a one-state solution because now you can let the Palestinians go places. They're not in a giant concentration camp. Because you aren't going to fear them because they have the right to sue for. Damn, that is a dirty ass rag. I tried using that thing. That's more of a kitchen rag, and I see why. God, I cannot stay on subject. But neither can our political left. Because if they start talking about reparations for Palestinians, that's going to be an elephant in the room. They're like, how come y'all really start backing off of reparations for descendants of slavery and economic apartheid, etc., based on a lot of times this whole um, like Adolf Reed class reductionism stuff that you see with Jimmy Dore apologists and everything. So they can't really talk about the one nonviolent solution. No, freedom for Palestinians. What does that entail? What does that entail? Or the liberation for Palestine. What does Palestine even entail? Like right now, they've reduced Palestine to two ghettos, two tiny ghettos in concentration camps. And the buildings that they had up are getting rubbleized. So you have to paper these people up. Otherwise, you're moving into a territory where if somebody says Israel doesn't have a right to exist, and and they wrap it up in all of this radical religion stuff, but Israel is radical religion. The existence of it, Zionism, is radical religion because there's no evidence that a Moses existed, like the stuff from that era that would describe a right to return to a Jewish homeland. And even like if you go further up into history to the Roman expulsion, there's questions about that too, especially if you want to say that all of these European Jews were living there back during the time of Rome. And no, I'll take that debate on any time with anyone. And I can definitively say that that is not the case for a great majority of the current population in Israel that practices Judaism. But there's a way that I can say that Israel does have a right to exist. And that is if they either have a one-state solution, or better yet, I think you could have a three-state, where Jerusalem and maybe other parts, much smaller parts, function as a Jewish state. Much smaller. The rest of the country would just be, I would say call it something else. You call the Jewish part Israel. You can call the Palestinian part Palestine. And the rest of the country, I don't care what you call it. But you have to empower the Palestinians to the point where you can't use fear as a excuse to mistreat them. And then when they fight back, you try to separate the wing that's fighting back from the regular Palestinian civilians, and that doesn't work because they're in a position where they can only fight back dusty and dirty, where they can only randomly target civilians. And really, Israel is too. In Israel and Palestine right now, it's the same country as far as I'm concerned, because you can't have a country that's in a concentration camp. Basically, you have a one state that is not a solution. So the solution is to empower Palestinians to the point where they don't need a wing to fight back. And if anybody is radical and crazy and still wants to fight when Israel is doing the right thing, then you can say, well, why don't you disown these people or whatever? They'll use some other fancy words. Why are you hiding with them? And why aren't you giving us intel? Why aren't you trying to prevent this from the inside? Then you can say that to the Palestinians, and a lot of them, if you're doing right by them, will agree. This is not what we want. But right now, it's like Osei from Pong said, when the Palestinians, and I say Palestinians because I don't separate Palestinians from any type of terror organization that is fighting Israel, because you're supposed to have a wing that fights when you're in their situation. So when they fight back, there is a chance that them fighting back influences a larger discussion that leads to the solution that I'm talking about. But you know who's not talking about it? You know who's not talking about it? Everybody, pretty much. Who has said the word reparations in reference to Palestinians? And I can say it because I'm always talking about reparations. Got some dog shampoo. Got dog hairs. I swear, like, I'll clean this thing and the dog hairs just come right back, because they'll be like sitting right there and they'll fall in. And I mean, if you've seen it, let me know. I don't hear it from the black left. All kinds of support for Palestine. And what is a Palestine? Just say all kinds of support for the people within Israel that are subjugated. I'm coming from black people. You see that. Now you will have some people that are on this like crazy Abrahamic religion thing, and you have like black Republicans like the dude on the Hill that can sambo through the lens of white supremacy by supporting Israel. And I'm saying supporting Israel's apartheid. Because if you, like I said, if you want to be honest, right now it's one state. There is no Palestine. And I don't know if you really need to expand Palestine, call the whole country Palestine. That to me is like asking for too much that's just in the name, when the real solution is money to Palestinian people, who would then in turn be citizens of Israel. And, like, and that's the thing. Whatever part, if they do a 3-state solution, you can't like just bar people from going to any place in the country. So yeah, like I would consider they need one country with 3 states, and the big state has to be general laws that are for everybody. And all the other 2 states, there shouldn't be laws against like people based on their religion. You can have laws based on religion to a degree, and but you can't have it so those laws apply different to people based on their religion in the 3 states. Bum, bum, baya. But that's pretty much it. That's all I really have to say, is that the obvious solution is reparations. And look, I'm not saying that we should be caping for their reparations, but I'm like, if you're going to enter the discussion, don't miss the solution because you've been on this either complete and total Adolf Reed type of race reductionism, this popular white leftist race reductionism, which is why they can talk about what's going on without a peaceful solution, because they can't talk about what really needs to happen in order for Israel to not fear people wanting to kill random solutions to get the apartheid off. I mean, kill random civilians to get the apartheid off their back. That's a reasonable fear because you're running an apartheid system. Now, you can take that away if you stop running it, but you can't just stop running it and not do anything in terms of justice. And justice in this case would be an extensive reparations package for the people that have been subjugated in Israel. And it's the same with us. And really, with us, it's even more locked in because, like I've said, you have a racial caste system. That's why the country is gridded with red line ghettos. And if you want to have a great America, if you want to make America great, you get rid of the fact that you're ghettoed up. There's like a handful of good black neighborhoods, and other than that, it's just a line of ghettos. It's like what I always call it. It's redlining.